All right, welcome to your 5:36 a.m. edition of the Thrivetime Show on your radio and podcast download. My name is Clay Clark, and on today's show, we're talking about page 183. We're going to page 183 of my newest book, A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich. The reason why I wrote this book, A Millionaire's Guide, How to Become Sustainably Rich, is because I want to teach you how to become sustainably rich. And so that's what I'm doing. And so we're going to page 183, and we're talking about how to identify and to destroy your business's biggest limiting membrane. What? Yes. You see, in every business, there are limiting membranes that are causing your business to become stagnant. As the owner of the business, you must always be asking yourself, what is the single largest limiting factor capping the growth of your business? What is the thing that if you could get your hands on it and fix it and move it out of the way, would be a game changer for your business? By the way, often I find this as a person. I often find there's a person who is a biggest limiting factor in your business. It could be a family member. It could be a longtime employee. There's usually somebody that refuses to do the work that they need to do. They refuse to call the leads. They refuse to show up on time. They refuse to carry a calendar. They refuse to follow a to-do list. They refuse to follow a script. They refuse to follow the org chart. They refuse to price things properly. They refuse to build things with a spirit of excellence. There's usually somebody who is your biggest limiting factor. I find this often, most often, as I work with companies to help them grow. What is that one thing, again, folks, that if you moved it, fixed it, got it out of the way, it would make your business grow? Who is that critical hire that we need to take our business to the next level almost immediately? My friend, you must deep dive into asking yourself these questions with great intensity. Once you have identified your biggest limiting factor, you must now list out a minimum of 10 possible solutions to eliminate this problem. Now, I'm not trying to be legalistic with it. I'm just trying to help you get this idea. So here's an example. Years ago, I was working with a particular person who was trying to scale his franchise. And their whole thing is once they got their business to a certain size, they just never seemed to have time to get anything done. So you would be engaging with them in a conversation, but yet they're on the phone with somebody else putting out a fire. When they're putting out a fire, they're trying to think strategically, and basically they went from being a very productive person to being a very reactive person. And so this client hired me to help them scale their company. So the first thing I told them is, let's block out time specifically just to work on the business. That's why with every business coaching client I work with, we have a weekly 1-hour meeting. And the purpose of that meeting is not to take the full hour. The purpose of that meeting is to block out time. Usually it's about 30 minutes, but to block out time to work on the business and not in the business, to figure out what is the biggest limiting factor. Well, in this particular case, we found out that they just didn't have a lot of leads for people that wanted to buy franchises. The franchises were great. People wanted to buy the franchises, but there just wasn't a lot of leads coming in. So the question was, how can we generate more leads? Well, I happened to, at that point in my life, I knew a guy who was very connected in the franchise space. And this guy charges a pretty hefty commission. So the way it works in the franchise space is if you want to buy a franchise, most people will go to Google and they'll type in how to buy a franchise or buy a franchise or some variation of searching for a franchise to buy. And when they do that, they're going to find websites like franchisedirect.com, bizbuysell.com, franchisedirect.com. There's all these different websites that come up top. Well, this contact I had, he happened to have an insane amount of leads from what he calls seekers. These are people who are wanting to buy a franchise. So people that are online searching, they're Googling, buy a franchise. When you fill out those forms on various websites, this guy receives those leads, which he calls seekers, people that want to buy a franchise. And so what he does is this is pretty wild, he charges a $20,000 placement fee for all franchises that he places. So if you fill out the form, his team will call you. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, I saw you're looking to buy a franchise. Do you know what kind of franchise you're looking to buy? And typically the person who fills out the form says, yeah, I'm kind of looking to buy a business in the space of, some kind of service business. I'm just making up examples, but maybe it's I want to be a mortgage guy. I want to do a restaurant. I want to do ice cream. I want to be a dog trainer. I want to be insert the franchise. I mean, I want to be a commercial cleaner. I want to be a window cleaner. I want to be. They're just going to tell you kind of spitball, because most of these people who are seekers, they know they want to become self-employed. They just don't know what they want to do, and so. They call them coaches in the industry. I think these people are brokers, but they refer to themselves as coaches. But they then listen to you and they say, hey, well, based upon what you've told me today, I think that this particular business here would be a good fit for you, or this business. And so you as a seeker, you then say, okay, well, how do I move forward from here? And they say, well, we'll connect you with the franchise. We're actually an affiliated partner with them, and we'll help you get connected. Well, anyway, every time that this particular guy sends over a franchise lead that converts into a deal, he wants a $20,000 commission. And so I'm talking to the owner of this particular business, and he was not a fan of the idea of paying somebody $20,000 for a placement. And I said, well, I mean, given that you have no leads, and your profit every time you sell a franchise is currently about $25,000, why don't you just mark up the price of the franchise by $10,000 or some number? And so the owner says, what now? I said, yeah, well, just take the price that you would normally charge for the franchise and raise your prices next year. Because this guy that I'm talking about, this particular connection I had, and there's a lot of different connections, but this particular connection, he has thousands of leads and has a track record of referring business. And you only have to pay him if he delivers a commission. And after much, I don't know, thinking, pondering, praying about it, whatever that looks like, I'm not really sure sometimes what the clients are doing, but they're gathering the facts before they act. They're looking at it. I don't know if they're looking at it. Maybe they're just thinking about it. Maybe they're driving around and not thinking about it. Maybe they're letting 2 or 3 weeks go by where nothing's happening. I don't know. I mean, because I know, like for me, if I tell you I'm going to think about it, I mean, I'm going to make a spreadsheet of all the pros and cons, and then I'm going to gather all the facts before I act. That's how when I say I'm thinking about something, I am literally going to go back to my man cave and write down all the pros and all the cons of taking that action. I'll gather the facts, and then I will act. That's what I'm doing. I think a lot of times people will say, I'm going to go think about that, but then they don't actually do anything. They just say, I'm going to think about that. That's what I see, but maybe I just know people that procrastinate. I don't know. But anyway, so after much delay, the owner came back to me and he says, hey, I do want to make that connection. Could you introduce me to that guy? So I introduced him to that guy. There's a lot of back and forth. Long story short, this particular business owner was able to, this franchise owner was able to receive hundreds of new locations. And to this day, they're very, very successful because of that, just one connection. There's a lot of details that had to happen after that. But you want to ask yourself, what is your biggest limiting factor? And so I'm going to try to give you a little meat to the bone here and try to steer you in more of a linear path now. So if you think about your business from left to right as like an org chart, if you're taking notes here, or like a workflow, what you'll want to do is you'll want to write down the following areas of your business and ask yourself, on a scale of 1 to 10, how highly would you rank yourself on the following areas? Now, don't feel bad, by the way, if 10 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. So how highly would you rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 if 10 is the highest? And most people, aren't getting up every day at 3 a.m. and they're not recording a podcast at 5 in the morning, and they're not, I get it. So most people are not operating a schedule like mine. But every day, I take a time out from what I'm doing and I think about the direction that we're headed. And I think about, is this the direction that I want to go? I reflect every day. How was yesterday? And what am I looking to do today? What was yesterday? What am I looking to do today? I actually will take the time every single day, and I'll look at my life. You look at life as you need to look at life as this sort of broken into the 7 Fs. The 7 Fs. You have faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun. Faith, family, finance, fitness, friendship, fun. Now, I'm not the authority of all of those things, and I'm not a guru in all those areas. But what I'm saying is that if you don't take the time needed to assess where you're going with your faith, family, finance, friendship, fitness, fun, you'll probably end up living in a van down by the river, and you'll be broke. Okay, so I'm just going to ask you to rank yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, and in these following areas, really think about your business. Think about where your business is versus where you want your business to go, and then rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest. So the first area I want to focus on is the actual branding. How highly would you rank your branding, your website, your print pieces, your logo, your YouTube channel, your social media presence, your anything that the customer sees or touches? That's the branding. Anything that shapes the perception that someone has of you, that's the branding. So if you go to thrivetimeshow.com, whether I like it or not, this is what happens. People go to thrivetimeshow.com and they click on the testimonials button all the time, and they look at testimonials. And so it's very important. We have 2,000 plus client success stories over the years. So it's very important that I put all of my client success stories on the testimonials page so that other clients, future clients, they can see real people having real success, because I've been doing this since 2005, helping people to scale their companies through the Great Recession and beyond. And so it's very important for people to see, wow, you have a track record of doing that. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com, people go to the site, and what they see when they first get there, that creates their first impression, good or bad. That's just how it works, and that's what it is. Their first impression is formulated. That's called branding. You also have a guy by the name of Michael Levine who came up with this thing called the Tiffany theory years ago. This is Michael Levine. Michael Levine was the public relations consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Nike, for Prince, for Bill Clinton, for George Bush. Regardless of what we think about these people, I'm just telling you this is what he was. And he was the top PR guy. So his job was for George Carlin, he worked with George Carlin. His job was to run around and convince people that that their branding wasn't as good as it could be. And then he would work with them as a personality to improve their branding. So that way, whenever you would look up people online or look them up or consider hiring them to be in a movie or a film, you would find that, wow, this person is really high profile and I should hire this person. He's adding value to celebrities. He's an author of multiple successful PR books about PR. Check this out, folks. He represented 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestselling authors. This guy, Michael Levine. So Michael Levine explains it like this. He says, what you have is this thing called the Tiffany theory. And he says that people will perceive a product based on how it's presented. So he says, regardless of what's in the packaging, they base their decision based upon the actual way it's packaged. He calls it the Tiffany theory. So if you are a young man and you were to propose to a female and give her a incredible diamond ring, but you presented it to her in a Kmart bag, she would perceive it to have less value than if you presented her with the same ring, but it was presented in a Tiffany box. And it's because most people judge a book by its cover. So the branding thing is a big thing. And I would just encourage you to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. How highly is your branding? How's that going for you? Second is the marketing. On a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is the best and 1 is the worst, how's your marketing doing? Are you getting a lot of leads? You getting no leads? How effective is it? Are you running a magazine ad that you don't get any leads from? Are you auto-wrapping your cars and you're not getting any fruit from that? Are you opening up locations and showrooms that don't generate leads? Let me give you an example. There's a person that I worked with for years that was obsessed with auto-wrapping their vehicles. That was like their Achilles heel or their weakness. They were a sucker for auto wraps. They loved auto wraps. And when we look at the tracking sheet every week and we ask, how did people hear about you? We have a tracking sheet for every client and we ask them, how did you hear about us? Nobody was saying auto wraps. And then he would get like one lead a year from the auto wrap. And so he was obsessed with auto wrapping every vehicle. Well, at a certain point, we almost had to have like an intervention because this guy had maybe 20 some odd vehicles that are all auto wrapped, none of which are generating any money. And you start to say, man, you're spending a lot of money on auto wrapping your vehicles. You're $6,000 to $7,000 per vehicle. You've got 20 some odd vehicles. What is your vision here? What are you trying to do? And his whole thing was, I think it's a very effective form of marketing. It's very professional. I have to get my name out there, etc. As we looked at it, it actually never produced any success at all for him. But it was just something that he was doing because he'd always done it. Another example, we had a guy years ago that was just super excited about launching a billboard. He really wanted to put a billboard out there. And, so he put the billboard up there. This is a client of mine, and had no success. And I wasn't asked, hey, do you think I should sign up for this long-term agreement to launch this billboard today? I wasn't asked that. I was more told that he was just going to do it. And it produced zero fruit. But yet it was a massive recurring bill. So again, just think about your marketing. How effective is your marketing on a scale of 1 to 10? If 10 is the most effective and 1 is not effective at all, how effective is your marketing, with 10 being the highest, 1 being the lowest? How effective is your marketing? So you got the branding, get the marketing. The next is your sales. If you have incredible branding and incredible marketing, leads coming in, but you don't sell anything, that is a problem. So on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, how highly would you rank your call scripts? Do you even have a call script, your call scripts? How highly would you rank your pre-written emails, your autoresponders, your sales training itself? Are you recording calls for quality assurance? I certainly record my podcast for quality assurance, but if you go to clarityvoice.com, you can, that's a great tool, clarityvoice.com, and you can record calls for quality assurance. Most big companies do that. It's a great way to make sure that your people are actually following the systems and processes that are proven to work there. Now, the next thing is, once you have sales, then you got to talk about your human resources. How highly would you rank your team? If 10 is awesome and 1 is terrible, how highly would you rank your team? Again, if 10 is awesome and 1 is terrible, how highly would you rank your team? And a lot of people, they just kind of hire whoever's available, and they've stayed in that perpetual cycle of dysfunction for years. But if you brought in 1 good person, it might change the vast majority of your issues, just bringing in 1 new person. So again, how highly would you rank your human resources, your hiring processes? And I just can't tell you how much it costs you to not have high quality human resources. And then finally, and then there's a lot of areas, but I just want to focus on a handful of these issues here. The next is, how highly would you rank the quality of your product and service that you deliver? Maybe you're getting maybe your branding is awesome, your marketing is great too. Maybe you're generating a lot of sales. Maybe you have great people, but maybe your product is terrible. Maybe people can't stand your product, and maybe you know it. Maybe you actually know it, therefore you're afraid to grow it, right? Maybe that's what that is. Maybe that's what that is. So on part 2 of today's show, we're going to put a lot of emphasis on marketing. We're going to focus a lot of emphasis on marketing, and I'm going to walk you through how to market and what good marketing looks like and how to market effectively. But I encourage you, if you're out there today, just do that check up from the neck up. Ask yourself, how highly do you stack up? And be very, very clear that when you run a business, as you grow a company, if you're not self-aware and you're not aware of your biggest limiting factor, you're going to get stuck. And that's really what we do with the business consulting program. If you go to thrivetimeshow.com, since 2005, I've been helping people to scale their businesses. And on average, the success rate we have is meteoric, I would say. So on part 3 of today's show, I'm going to share with you a client success story, so you can hear a story about a guy who grew a floundering irrigation company into a multi-million-dollar company as a result of us teaching them the proven path. So again, if you feel stuck, don't feel stuck. All right. So part 2, we're gonna play a training from Michael Levine. Michael Levine, he's the PR guy I referenced earlier. The actual quote Michael Levine has about PR goes like this. He says, "If you give someone a present and you give it to them in a Tiffany box, it's likely that they'll believe that the gift has higher perceived value than if you gave it to them in no box or a box of less prestige. And that's not because the receiver of the gift is a fool, but instead because we live in a culture in which we gift wrap everything. Our politicians, our corporate heads, our movie and TV stars, and even our toilet paper. Public relations is like gift wrapping." I could not agree more with what Michael Levine just said. And without any further ado, here is a training on the power of effective advertising and marketing and PR with Michael Levine.
Get ready to enter the Thrivetime Show. 3, 2, 1, boom!
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the conversation. It is a rare opportunity to interview the actual man behind what is known in the PR world as the Tiffany theory. If you don't know what the Tiffany theory is, the Tiffany theory, I'll go ahead and, Chuck, can you read the notable quotable to describe, this is the notable quotable from Michael Levine, the most successful, arguably the most successful PR consultant in the history of the planet. He is a guy who's worked with 3 presidents. He's the guy who's worked with Nancy Kerrigan. He's worked with Cameron Diaz. He's worked with Pizza Hut. He's worked with Nike. And he wrote the Tiffany theory, which has totally changed the game for PR. And we had a chance to sit down with him and have him break it down for us.
Peel back that onion.
Peel back the onion. But read the notable quotable for us, my friend, before we hop into it.
Whenever I first heard this, years ago when I started working with you, this really connected with me. It makes so much sense, okay?
Yes.
So the Tiffany theory. If you give someone a present and you give it to them in a Tiffany box, it's likely that they'll believe the gift has a higher perceived value than if you give it to them in a box, and no box, or a box of less prestige. That's not because the receiver of the gift is a fool, but instead because we live in a culture in which we gift wrap everything. Our politicians, our corporate heads, our movies and TV stars, and even our toilet paper.
Yes.
Public relations is like gift wrapping.
So Michael Levine breaks down the Tiffany theory and how he got started in the world of PR.
Well, we have a kind of humorous way of discussing it in our industry, which is to say that advertising is what you pay for and PR is what you pray for. And what that means is that, if you take out an ad in Time or Newsweek or People or U.S. News and World Report or USA Today or the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times, you get a certain cost and the ad has a certain believability by virtue of the fact that it's an ad. On the other hand, if you had a story in the Wall Street Journal or USA Today or the New York Times or the LA Times, its believability would be at a rate of at least 10 to 1. See? Because it would come with the imprimatur or the authority of the Wall Street Journal or USA Today. So I think that is what's underneath the idea that PR, advertising is what you pay for, PR is what you pray for. And today, the world is so cynical. People start with the assumption, they start with guilty until proven innocent, not innocent until proven guilty, right? And so when you educate your customers about the potential value of your product or service, and you do it through the media, you get a believability that is significantly greater than if you do it with, an advertisement. But if you have a good story, a good message, and you're transparent, you're authentic, and I think you can put forth a message that can be very effective. And with PR, you get it brings forth a kind of credibility that ads don't. What you say about yourself is not nearly as important as what is said about you by others.
How did you get started in the PR business? How did you get started?
All my life as a youth, I had two passions. I was interested in the entertainment industry, and I was interested in politics. So now I'm 17, scared and skinny, dyslexic, no money, no job, no education. I got to figure out what to do. And when you're 18, scared and skinny, I think you come to conclude what I came to conclude, which is Washington is Hollywood for ugly folks. And I come out here. See, I just look stupid, Clay. I just look stupid. I come out here where the pretty people are. And that's how the whole damn thing began.
So, in a nutshell, now that you've kind of ascended to the point where you're known as one of the top publicists of all time, one of the top PR guys of all time, you came up with this thing called the Tiffany theory.
Right.
And the Tiffany theory, and this is from your book, Guerrilla PR 2.0, which, by the way, I bought about 35 copies of. So I probably made you $35.
I call that 35. Decision to purchase 35 copies a good start.
Yeah, I absolutely love your book. But you say here,
Guerrilla PR is the most widely used introduction to PR in the world, and it's not because of its brilliance nearly to the degree of its accessibility, which is what you talk about.
Yeah, you really teach the concepts at a third grade level, which my mind can grasp. And you say here, I define what I do as gift wrapping. If you package a bracelet in a Tiffany box, it will have a higher perceived value than if presented in a Kmart box. Same bracelet, different perception. How does this story pertain to small business owners across the country? Let's say I own a plumbing business. How does this apply to me as a small business owner?
Okay, so let's take your question, which is a good one, and let's cut it into some pieces that are bite-sized and that we can think about. Okay, so first of all, I had a problem when I began my career in PR. May I tell you about that?
Absolutely.
First of all, I didn't know how to do PR, and second of all, I didn't know what it was. Other than that, I was in good shape. Right.
Yeah.
So I had to create for myself and for others an understanding of what PR was. And I said that PR is analogous to gift wrapping. Okay. And so if I come to visit you today, I come to visit your wife today, and I give her a gift, and I give it to her in a Tiffany box, in her mind, the gift would have a higher perceived value than if I gave it to her in no box or a box of less prestige. Now, the reason that's true is not because your wife is a jackass. It's true because she lives in a culture in which we gift wrap everything. So we gift wrap our politicians and our corporate heads and our movie and TV stars and even our toilet paper.
My name is Josh Wilson. I'm the owner of Living Water Irrigation. So I've been working with Thrive since December of 2017. So the biggest changes we've seen as a company is, first of all, just systematically how we do things, how we present things. Our Google presence is phenomenal. Our website's 1,000,000 times better. And just the overall accountability and the process by which we're conducting ourselves. So our biggest win since working with Thrive is we literally, March was a record month for us. It was almost twice as much as our biggest month prior to that. In the last week or so, we've closed about $250,000 worth of business. We still have to go dig a bunch of dishes and get it done, but we signed about $250,000 worth of business with the relationships we built, the things that they've implemented through Victoria and Clay and everybody here at Thrive. So I would recommend Thrive to other business owners simply because they can point out where you're flawed and what you need to work on. You just have to be real and honest with yourself on what you need to improve upon. So that would be first and foremost. And the huge reason why I would do it, because it works. It actually, everything that they said when we came in for our initial meeting to today, absolutely positively has been accomplished.
Just how does an irrigation and sprinkler repair company increase in sales by over 450% in just 1 year? When according to Forbes, 9 out of 10 startups fail and 8 out of 10 existing businesses fail. How can one company grow by 450% in 1 year? Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, it is now time for yet another edition of
Wins of the Week!
Doing the bull dance, feeling the flow, working.
You can do it!
We are joined by none other than my brother from another mother, Mr. Josh, the founder of Living Water Irrigation. Mr. Josh, welcome onto the show, my friend. How are you?
I am awesome, Clay. How are you, sir?
Well, I'm excited for the listeners to get to know more about you. Could you share the name of your company, a little bit more about what you guys do at Living Water Irrigation, where the name comes from?
Absolutely, positively. So Living Water Irrigation, the most important part of that to me is John 7:38. So it's mentioned in the gospel a number of times, where the living water, but our specific scripture that we drew our name from is John 7:38. It says, whoever believes in me, rivers of living water will flow through him. We have a very distinct vision as a company on who we are and what we want to do. And I believe that I was put here to go make some money to give it away. So,
and I'm not going to ask you for the specific details but of your career and how you started the business as far as a linear timeline, but how long has this particular business been around?
We've been around just 2 years, sir.
2 years. And you guys, we first met. How did we first meet?
I came in and y'all started coaching me over at the Thrivetime, over at Thrive 15.
And what do you remember when that was approximately and how you first heard about us?
So it would have been October or November of 17.
October or November of 17.
Yes, sir.
And in terms of your growth as a company, how much have you grown this year?
So this year we're up 450% year over year.
So now that you're implementing this program, you're getting more calls, right? Are you getting more calls?
Absolutely.
Sales are going up. You're gathering reviews from your real customers, adding content to the website, adding a gallery of work.
So I'm going to actually take a minute and make you really uncomfortable, Clay.
Nice.
So when we started with y'all, it was awesome. We had a little company, just me and one dude and one little van.
Yeah.
And 17 was great. I ate more than ramen noodles, but not much more.
Right.
18 was really good. We started to implement the systems, got Start Here, got the boom book, went to a couple conferences, and said, okay, I'm going to buy in. I'm going to sell out. We went to the coaching, got coached by Marshall and Victoria, and started to implement, as opposed to just listen, to actually be doers. It's in James. It says don't just be hearers of the word, but be doers as well. And so we implemented scripts. We implemented systems. We implemented checklists. We implemented a pro forma for quoting and all these things that you talk about.
Yeah.
And so just as a real person, and I'm real, I promise you, there's a bunch of Josh Wilsons out there.
Yeah.
Like I'm a famous baseball player and football player.
Oh, wow.
And a gospel singer.
Oh, wow.
But this Josh Wilson just digs ditches for a living. But I just want to say thank you. Standing here for all the systems. I encourage everybody out there, go pick up Start Here. Go pick up the boom book. The stuff you hear on this show, it actually sincerely works. It's not just some nonsensical guy sitting in an awesome man cave who's bored so he wants to record a show. And then from there, here's another super duper move for you. Schedule your day.
Oh, wait a second. That right there is a hot tip.
Holy cow!
Schedule your day.
So I was listening just a few months ago, and I was running all over the Tulsa metro area, from Glenpool to Owasso to Broken Arrow, back to Owasso to Jinx
No.
to Midtown. And I'm like, man, why am I getting nothing done?
Why am I getting nothing done?
Well, your issue is that you're running these places. You got to drive.
Why am I talking using a megaphone? Back to you.
Well, obviously, I wouldn't have this belly if I was running, Jonathan.
Okay.
So my wife says to me, hey, how was your day, honey? Oh, I worked all day. I did all these things. And I'm like, wait, I have nothing to show that I did anything. So super move number one, you've said it 17,000 times.
Yeah.
Whatever gets scheduled gets done. So now my day is scheduled.
Come on now.
So if it's not on my schedule,
Yep.
nope, doesn't happen.
Listen here. Here's the little secret. You can become successful. You have the tools needed to start and grow a successful company. But you've got to implement the best practice systems. You have to implement the proven systems, checklists, and processes that have been shown to work time and time again. And it is very hard for me to help you implement those systems if we don't get a chance to know you. So if you're out there today and you're saying, I feel stuck, I don't know what to do, I would encourage you to go to thrivetimeshow.com today and watch over 1,000. We have over 1,000 video testimonials from real people just like Josh. Watch those videos and build your faith. Believe that you can actually do this. And then do one of three things. One, you could schedule a one-on-one consultation with me by simply going to thrivetimeshow.com and scheduling that free 13-point assessment. Now, our team is going to vet you, make sure you're not psychologically impaired or your dream is not delusional. Now, move number two. You could book your attendance at our in-person Thrive Time Show workshop. The tickets are normally $250, but if you want to attend the workshops because maybe you're in a spot right now where financially you're kind of strapped, just subscribe to the Thrive Time Show podcast and leave us an objective review. And after you leave us an objective review, take a screenshot of the review and email it to info@thrivetimeshow.com, and we'll give you tickets for just $37. Or
maybe the Thrivetime Show Business School is the right move for you. Maybe it is. Listen, it's only $19 a month. And when you subscribe to the Thrivetime Show Business School, here's what you get. You get access to a massive amount of videos. We have over 3,000 training videos taught by the world's business leaders. You can watch those videos. That alone has tremendous value. Also, you get to attend one in-person workshop per year. Now, if you think about it, if you go to, Harvard, the average graduate debt sits at around $101,000. If you go to Oral Roberts University, let's say you go to Tulsa University, you're going to spend $35,855 per year. If you go to the Harvard Business School, you're going to spend $66,000 per year. If you go to the Wharton Business School, you're going to spend $64,828 per year. If you subscribe to the Thrivetime Show Business School, it's month to month, and it's as little as $19 a month. Check it out today by going to thrivetimeshow.com. And now, without any further ado, we like to end each and every show in Win of the Week with a boom, because boom stands for big, overwhelming, optimistic momentum. And now, without any further ado, here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom!
The number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year. We are Jared and Jennifer Johnson. We own Platinum Pest and Lawn and are located in Owasso, Oklahoma. And we have been working with Thrive for business coaching for almost a year now.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to share some wins with you guys that we've had by working with Thrive. First of all, we're on the top page of Google now. Okay. I just want to let you know what type of accomplishment this is. Our competition, Orkin, Terminex, they're both $1.3 billion companies. They both have 2,000 to 3,000 pages of content attached to their website. So to basically go from virtually non-existent on Google to up on the top page is really saying something. But that's come by being diligent to the systems that Thrive has, by being consistent and diligent on doing podcasts and staying on top of those podcasts to really help with getting up on with their listing and ranking there with Google.
And also, we've been trying to get Google reviews, asking our customers for reviews. And now we're the highest rated and most reviewed pest and lawn company in the Tulsa area. And that's really helped with our conversion rate. And the number of new customers that we've had is up 411% over last year.
Wait, say that again. How much are we up?
411%.
Okay, so 411% we're up with our new customers. Amazing.
Right. So not only do we have more customers calling in, we're able to close those deals at a much higher rate than we were before. Right now, our closing rate is about 85%, and that's largely due to, first of all, like our Google reviews that we've gotten people really see that our customers are happy, but also we have a script that we follow. And so when customers call in, they get all the information that they need. That script has been refined time and time again. It wasn't a one and done deal. It was a system that we followed with Thrive in the refining process, and that has obviously the 411% shows that system works.
Yeah. So here's a big one for you. So last week alone, our booking percentage was 91%. We actually booked more deals, more new customers last year than we did the first 5 months. Or I'm sorry, we booked more deals last week than we did the first 5 months of last year from before we worked with Thrive. So again, we booked more deals last week than the first 5 months of last year. And it's incredible. But the reason why we have that success is by implementing the systems that Thrive has taught us and helped us out with. So.
Some of those systems that we've implemented are group interviews. That way we've really been able to come up with a really great team. We've created and implemented checklists. That way everything gets done and it gets done right. It creates accountability. We're able to make sure that everything gets done properly, both out in the field and also in our office. And also doing the podcast, like Jared had mentioned, that has really, really contributed to our success. But that, like I said, the diligence and consistency in doing those and that system has really, really been a big blessing in our lives. And also, it's really shown that we've gotten the success from following those systems.
Yeah. So before working with Thrive, we were basically stuck. Really no new growth with our business. And we were in a rut and we didn't know.
The last 3 years, our customer base had pretty much stayed the same. We weren't shrinking, but we weren't really growing either.
Yeah, and so we didn't really know where to go, what to do, how to get out of this rut that we're in. But Thrive helped us with that. You know, they implemented those systems. That they taught us those systems. They taught us the knowledge that we needed in order to succeed. Now it's been a grind. Absolutely, it's been a grind this last year. But we're getting those fruits from that hard work and the diligent effort that we're able to put into it. So again, we were in a rut. Thrive helped us get out of that rut. And if you're thinking about working with Thrive, quit thinking about it and just do it. Do the action, and you'll get the results. It will take hard work and discipline. But that's what it's going to take in order to really succeed. So we just want to give a big shout out to Thrive, a big thank you out there to Thrive. We wouldn't be where we're at now without their help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Moore. I'm a pediatric dentist. Through our new digital marketing plan, we have seen a marked increase in the number of new patients that we're seeing every month, year over year. One month, for example, we went from 110 new patients the previous year to over 180 new patients in the same month. And overall, our average is running about 40 to 42% increase month over month, year over year. The group of people required to implement our new digital marketing plan is immense, starting with a business coach, videographers, photographers, web designers. Back when I graduated dental school in 1985, nobody advertised. The only marketing that was ethically allowed in everybody's eyes was mouth-to-mouth marketing. By choosing to use the services, you're choosing to use a proven turnkey marketing and coaching system that will grow your practice and get you the results that you're looking for. I went to the University of Oklahoma College of Dentistry, graduated in 1983, and then I did my pediatric dental residency at Baylor College of Dentistry from 1983 to 1985.
Hello, my name is Charles Kolaw with Kolaw Fitness. Today I want to tell you a little bit about Clay Clark and how I know Clay Clark. Clay Clark has been my business coach since 2017. He's helped us grow from 2 locations to now 6 locations. We're planning to do 7 locations in 7 years and then franchise. And Clay has done a great job of helping us navigate anything that has to do with like running the business, building the systems, the checklists, the workflows, the audits, how to navigate lease agreements, how to buy property, how to work with brokers and builders. This guy is just amazing. He's this kind of guy has worked in every single industry. He's written books with like Lee Crockrell, head of Disney, with the 40,000 cast members. He's friends with like Mike Lindell. He does Reawaken America tours, where he does these tours all across the country, where 10,000 or more people show up to some of these tours. On the day-to-day, he does anywhere from about 160 companies. He's at the top. He has a team of business coaches, videographers, and graphic designers and web developers, and they run 160 companies every single week. So think of this guy with a team of business coaches running 160 companies. So in the weekly, he's running 160 companies. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's doing Reawaken America tours. Every 6 to 8 weeks, he's also doing business conferences where 200 people show up, and he teaches people a 13-step proven system that he's done and worked with billionaires, helping them grow their companies. So I've seen guys from startups go from startup to being multimillionaires, teaching people how to get time freedom and financial freedom through the system. Critical thinking, document creation, putting it into organizing everything in their head to building into a franchisable, scalable business. Like one of his businesses has like 500 franchises. That's just one of the companies or brands that he works with. So amazing guy, Elon Musk kind of like smart guy. He kind of comes off sometimes as socially awkward, but he's so brilliant, and he's taught me so much. When I say that, like Clay is like, he doesn't care what people think when you're talking to him. He cares about where you're going in your life and where he can get you to go. And that's what I like most about him. He's like a good coach. A coach isn't just making you feel good all the time. A coach is actually helping you get to the best you. And Clay has been an amazing business coach. Through the course of that, we became friends. I was really most impressed with him is when I was shadowing him one time. We went into a business deal and listened to it. I got to shadow and listen to it. And when we walked out, I knew that he could make millions on the deal, and they were super excited about working with him. And he told me, he's like, I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to turn it down, because he knew it was going to harm the common good of people in the long run. And the guy's integrity just really wowed me. It brought tears to my eyes to see that this guy, his highest desire was to do what's right And anyways, just an amazing man. So anyways, impacted me a lot. He's helped navigate anytime I've got nervous or worried about how to run the company, or navigating competition and an economy that's like, I remember we got closed down for 3 months. He helped us navigate on how to stay open, how to get back open, how to just survive through all the COVID shutdowns, lockdowns.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us.
This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right?
So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that you guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
The Thrivetime Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrivetime Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.